Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being eloquent and then dropping a fuck in there somewhere.
That's me, man. Same here, brother. Try to keep the mics about yay distance from your face, somewhere in there, just wherever. But yeah, man, what do you say we knock into this thing?
Sounds good.
Sounds
You
good.
guys ready
Sounds
to go?
good. Let's go.
All right, let's everybody welcome back to the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. Today I have with me two members of the Regulars. Am I getting that right?
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Tell me you guys names, occupations in the band, that sort of stuff. Tell me about you guys. Age as well.
I'm Colin Cosby, 24,
Nice.
lead-ish guitar.
Ish. Sorta. How about you?
I'm Nick Cosby, his younger brother, 18, and the bass player.
We got a youngin' in here, man.
Yeah.
Are you in college yet or not?
Yeah, I just started college.
Cool.
I'm going to UNG.
Word, man. Nighthawks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did that same route. That transfer in.
Yep.
I know what you're doing. I'm on to you.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I'm glad to have you guys out, man. I'm glad we can line this up last minute, and I appreciate y'all coming out. I've heard a lot about you guys. I haven't actually seen you guys yet, and I don't really know that much about you, which is kind of exciting because I get to learn a little bit today.
Oh, yeah.
So just tell me how you guys got started. Tell me about like your kind of origin story, I guess, how you got started playing your instruments, how you started meeting people in bands, what brought you to Athens, that sort of stuff.
Well, I will say I've always been really into music. I mean, we both have played music from a young age. I've started learning guitar when I was like 11 years old.
It's pretty early, man.
It doesn't show. I kind of like once I got to college, it sort of took a back seat to just the college lifestyle and everything. And then somewhere along the way, I started getting super into jam bands, especially like the
Word.
Dead, and just watching
Yeah.
Jerry videos. I was like, I got to get doing that again.
Yeah.
And so the other guys, it started, the Regulars started out with me, Colby, our singer and other lead guitar player, and Garrett, our drummer. We all were fraternity brothers at Georgia Southern.
Cool. Okay. Statesboro. Nice.
Yeah, down in Statesboro. And we were all really early, just kind of getting into playing music with other people, and we were all about the same level of just, low
Intermediate.
stakes. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of hanging out, having fun, and figuring out how to do it with other people.
Okay.
And Colby and I, we used to go to this little music shop down there a lot, and just one day we walked in, and the clerk behind the counter goes, "It's our Regulars." And we look at each other like, is this a moment right now? Like, felt like it was in a movie or something. I was like, that's a band name. Like,
Evil Origins.
yeah.
Band.
And COVID happened, and we all just kind of went our separate ways. And then sometime this past spring, we all started hanging out and playing music again at Garrett's house out in Madison, where we can get real loud. He lives out in the country, so
The same group of guys?
So it started out again, just me, Colby, and Garrett just hanging out and having fun.
Word.
And at some point along the way last year, you can take it away, Nick, but he just
Yeah, about August of last year or so, he bought me a bass. Before that, all through middle school and high school, I was playing saxophone.
Word. Like alto or?
I played alto initially, and then I had played baritone saxophone for like
Nice.
4 years after that. And so I have that musical background, and he got me a bass, and I kind of just like learned it, and I wasn't like really like paying too much attention to it. Just kind of like picking
doing
it
it.
up every 15 minutes a day or something like that. And
Good way to start.
eventually, he was just like, "Yo, you want to play with us?" And I was like, "Sure, why
Fuck
not?"
yeah.
And, like, this one, I'm still just like sounding like shit, and then it really took that nudge though, because as soon as I started playing with them, that's when I started like making like leaps and improvement and everything.
He's like, okay,
and
I need to sound good, kind of.
Yeah, I was like,
Interesting.
it made me very self-aware.
I feel like
very
every
quickly.
bass player story is like that. Like, hey, you want to play bass?
Yeah,
at least he
And they
wasn't
just-
the worst guitar player in the band and got forced into it.
I thought you sang a little bit, though. Do you?
No, not
No?
really.
I
Okay.
got pipes though.
I might
Huh?
get a little drunky poo one night
Yeah?
and bust out some blues one day.
We
here
need
soon,
it, man.
and
That's
then
awesome.
somewhere along the way, I think Garrett met our keyboard player Owen through the Jam Ham group me.
Yeah, I'm in there.
He was posting something about needing people to play with, and Garrett had a country band before this as well,
Okay.
called Dixie Highway. And he got in with Owen through that, and then was like, well, hey, we got this rock band too if you want to come hang out. And Owen stayed. And then just the first time that we all played together, it was like magic. I mean,
That's
it was
awesome.
like we all were just like, you have to stay. I mean,
Yeah.
like you kind of get a choice, but also
You don't.
like we need you.
He was
And
definitely the best musician going into that. And we were
Okay.
just like,
that
okay,
was
gotta hold
pretty
on
much
to
the
it.
start of it all. Sometime around this June of this summer, we met Owen and started playing together then, and
Yeah.
it all just worked out really fast after that.
That's an
Yeah.
awesome origin story. You guys got that down packed, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we probably played 2 weeks with each other before we
Yeah.
had our first gig. And
That's how you do it, man. I
yeah,
love that.
mean,
love that.
Night before the first gig, we
We timed out
ourselves.
What do you mean
And,
timed yourself? Oh, just
we
to see how much
all
you had?
of our material. We only
Uh-huh.
had like an hour 30, hour.
They
50.
wanted us to play for 2.5 hours at Roadhouse.
Ooh,
We were
that's
like,
tough.
yeah, we got that. No big deal. No sweat, right? Time out how much we actually have.
Yeah.
With as long and pointless jams as we could make it. It was like an hour 40.
Shit, man.
So the night before our first gig, we learned 50, almost 60 minutes worth of new songs. And it was like, I mean, they were easy songs. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The Weight and like,
Uh-huh.
Mary Jane's Last, like it was
Course,
like,
of
okay.
course.
3 chord.
It was like,
jams
who
out there.
knows a song they can teach us right now? Like,
That's the way to do it, man. I love that.
I even sang for the first show, and I mean,
Yeah.
I don't sing now anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
You sang lead or just background and stuff?
sang lead, Bill Withers tune.
Let's go. Let's
the
go.
bass, and then
Yeah.
I was like, sure, give me the mic.
I love
Just
that, man.
Hitting my James Brown. Like,
Well, that's awesome, dude. It seems like, I guess you guys would technically be considered like a COVID band, kind of, right? 'Cause it's
For
like,
sure.
I mean, definitely, there's definitely some downsides, all that stuff, but a lot of great bands. It was like, hey, we got to fucking do something, around June, July. She was like, fuck, I'm tired of sitting around. Let's start a band,
And on the other flip side of that, which is a little more unfortunate, it seems like a lot of bands, even in Athens especially, called it quits.
Yeah.
But it made it a really good opportunity for bands like us.
Oh, it was
I mean,
great.
I was sitting around talking with Colby one day, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, we should take this seriously. There's a lot
Yeah.
of bands that are not coming back. There's a space that needs to be
Exactly.
filled.
It was a
like,
huge space, man.
and as it turns out, we can start up 2 weeks after first getting together, play
Yeah.
a gig, and now 4 months later, we're probably pushing 30. I know
Let's
we're over
go,
25.
man.
I don't know how many gigs we played.
That's a
but
shit ton of gigs, brothers. That's good stuff.
I mean, we
Just wanna
we
pay our
really
dues.
try to get as many under our belts as we can, because
Yeah.
my attitude is, I know there's a lot better musicians out there in Athens
of
than
course.
I am and we are, and
Yeah.
I want to be competitive.
Yeah.
So I want to do trial by fire. I want us to be as tight, as good as we can.
And there's only
I
one
think
way to do that.
Our attitude is learn how to play to the crowd. We're going to play our music our way. But in our opinion, it's better to play the music that we all want to play and play
Yeah.
it really damn well, so that the crowd that may be unfamiliar with it can get into it,
Gotcha.
than necessarily to play music we're not super into, not as passionate about, but maybe the crowd loves it,
That's a great mindset to have, man. You guys can't lose with that as long as you're doing what you want, man.
And we definitely do try to keep a balance in there too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Some classics.
of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, in my opinion, there's like a really fine line between, like a classic cover and a cliche cover. You know?
Gotcha.
So it's like straddling that line has been kind of difficult.
yeah, yeah.
And I think some of the times we end up with a little bit of magic in the moment, though, because we're really trying hard to make a song like Mary Jane's Last Dance, which every cover band ever plays,
Totally.
our own,
Yeah, that's
So-
interesting. How much success have you had with that? Are you guys just like jamming on them longer, or like?
It's really just kind of like a lot of times it is what it is. We, like with a song like Mary Jane's, we don't really fiddle with it too much until we kind of get to the last chorus.
The harmonica
and then
sections.
and then it's just hitting it
Yeah.
hard. You know what I mean? Just hitting it big, long.
Love that,
Stretch
man.
out for some solos. Try to
Yeah.
break it down a little bit. Just get it to like the core of its being.
Mm-hmm.
And
Interesting. So, would you guys consider yourself technically a jam band, or any like other? What would your genre be? You know what I mean?
I just say it's rock and roll
Yeah.
because it definitely is leaning on that noodly jam band. I mean, that's definitely a pillar and a vibe that we're going for. But also, I think a lot of the other bands in Athens that would maybe associate themselves with the jam scene are a little bit less hard edged as we are, and we're not super
Gotcha.
hard. The bands like Shameless James are way heavier than
Yeah.
we are.
Love those guys.
Me too. We just saw them the other
Yeah.
day at Roadhouse.
They
Great
did it
show,
Friday,
by the way.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Great
was it? It's
show.
great.
Great show.
Shout out
Highly
Shameless
recommend
James.
if you have not seen them out and you're listening to this.
They gave me a sticker last time they were here.
Shout out those guys.
Nice guys, yeah.
Tight.
But there, I do think we have a little bit more of like the mean, dirty rock and roll aspect to us than some of the other Athens quote unquote jam bands.
Yeah, when you say that, what do you mean? It's like distortion or like
it's
heavier
not even
songs?
distortion, it's just faster, more
okay.
aggressive, meaner.
I love
a little bit of a snarl to
in
it.
your face.
Nice. Okay. That's a good thing to have.
I'm kind of. We don't play any like AC/DC, but that's the kind of mindset I have. Is I want dirty, mean, and mighty unclean.
Yeah, I like that. AC/DC is a powerful band. We play a couple songs by them. Very cool. Anyway, where was I going with that? I love to hear you talking about competition because like it seems like it's kind of like, I hate to say tacky, but nobody does it anymore out loud. Like, kind of like in the 80s, it was like, oh, we want to be the best band or whatever. And now you don't hear too many people saying that. But I'm all the time like, bro, like, I'm trying to be the best band. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to do this really well. And, like, shout out to everybody else.
It is
Love
a competition.
You guys. You know what I mean?
It's a friendly competition.
Yeah,
and I want, in whatever way that our little band can help anyone else out, we will.
Love to. Yeah.
We will. Yeah. If we've had to pass on gigs, we immediately call up friends of ours and say,
totally.
Let's put you in touch with these guys because they might be able to help you out. Yeah. So in a way, I do see it as a competition, but also there's room for everybody.
Yeah, it's not like I want him to lose competition.
It's not a zero-sum
game. We all want to.
It's not a zero-sum game.
That's a good way to put it. Very interesting. And, dude, it was very nice and very wise of you guys to realize that there was a hole to fill at the end of COVID because, God, it seemed like it was massive, like huge bands that were just dominating town, lost all their steam.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a tough, like, political look for them to start playing too early, and little bands that were just coming up, we could start a little earlier. You know what I mean?
Like, well, I'm playing 30 people in a tiny bar no one's heard of. Like,
let's go. Yeah. That was a good era. I really enjoyed that part of it. It was like music's back, that was really fun. So yeah,
we definitely had a really good time. Just kind of like, I think, like you said, like music is back. Like for us though, we were just arriving, So I think it was a great time to really, put our best foot forward, though. I mean, people were itching for it. And so we got a little bit of goodwill and a little bit of extra slack that maybe we wouldn't have gotten if, like you said, pre-COVID, it was really stiff. People competing for the same gigs, competing for the same attention from people in the scene,
Totally.
I think we got a lot of slack, though, just from being willing to, like, go out there and do it and, like, provide people with a good time.
Yeah, totally, man. I think so. And when you guys start playing, where are you playing at? Is it any gigs or places in particular, if you know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of stuff at Roadhouse.
Yeah, I noticed that.
We have been playing a little bit at Woodford, and we've done a bunch of, like, fraternity stuff, and through that, we've gotten put on to some, like, private parties in Atlanta and stuff. But right now, we're really just trying to break out a little bit. Find some new places to play. Yeah,
because that was when I started noticing you guys. I probably became aware of you guys around like August or July-ish when I was like, who are these motherfuckers playing Roadhouse every Friday? Like these guys are playing. And that's kind of my personal like I hate to say like success ratio, but like the people that I see playing the most, I'm like, okay, I respect these guys. They're killing it. Good for them, And that was when I was like, oh, these guys are playing just about every Friday somewhere. I was like, okay, better watch out.
That's what the impression that I want to give people that might see the name too is I don't want people to, not that there's anything wrong with this because this is how we started and this is how we would still be if we were in Statesboro, but I don't want people to think that we're just a bunch of frat boys just playing for our friends and stuff. Like we're pretty serious about it.
You're trying to do it.
We really want to be our best and be the best that we can be as musicians, I mean, we are doing it to, I guess, I wouldn't say make a name, but, we want to give it the old honest college try. But also, I think at the core, everybody's on the same page in the band about really why we're doing this is because we had kind of plateaued as musicians a little bit and needed a kick. And so this is kind of the best. I mean, at some point, you got to leave the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and put yourself out there and maybe eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very maybe. But you spend like the first literally like 10,000 hours just playing your bedroom. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, and then finally you're playing in front of people. It's like, man, I want to do this every night,
And that's what really makes you like a better musician as well is like rather than practicing and everything, you're honing in on skills then, but when you're really putting it to the test and like trial by fire, like he said, I mean, that's how you really get better. And like that's why we love playing so much is like we want to play every week if we could. We want to do 3 gig weekends, like all that stuff. Like my fingers are literally. I got blood. I have
Show the
blisters.
camera. Look at that. Damn, brother.
So hard. And
Fuck.
I'm just like, I love it.
Are you?
I need it.
You left-handed?
No.
No.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was the other hand.
I just play way too hard.
That's a good
bass
problem.
player
Good problem.
I talk to is just like, you play way too hard, man. You need to like chill.
Dial it back.
Yeah.
It's funny you guys say that because like I remember vividly like before I'd played any gigs, I would like play stuff in my room and it felt like flawless, you know. And I'd watch like tapes of like bands. I'd be like, damn, how'd they fuck that up? And then we started playing live. I was like, oh, okay, I see now.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, it's very easy to do.
We just got back some recording. Like we had our most recent Roadhouse show recorded.
How'd you guys do that? Off the board or?
So shout out to Ben Myers. I don't know
Okay.
if you know Ben
I do
Myers.
not.
He plays in a band. I think it might be a temporary band name called the Beaking Husks with
Husks.
Patrick McGuire, Ian Thomas from Bird Dog Jubilee.
I know Ian Thomas. I love him.
And I am blanking on the keyboards player's name. I'm so sorry if you're hearing this, but he brought out all of his mics for us.
Yeah.
Mic'd us up, had us running through his mixer, big fancy beautiful sound, and recorded it all for us straight into the mixer and mixed it up for us and got it back to us a few days later, and we've just been listening to it. And honestly, I mean, it was kind of a surprise. We were all pretty excited and shocked at how good it sounded because I think we all have a tendency to be pretty hard on ourselves. But there were some clear moments. Sometimes it's the moments that you think you did really badly on that it actually turns out to be pretty good, and the moments that you think you did pretty good on, when you listen back to it, you're like, okay, that could have been a lot better. You know, like, okay, I'm really not doing my best at this moment.
Very revealing.
I'm being lazy, maybe even. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. And did he be multi-tracks back or?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was it just a mix? Either way is fine. I was just curious.
I think it was just a mix, but he has it all.
Multi-track separately?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. See, dude, just getting that stuff back and just listening to a whole gig is like very exposing. You know, it's like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? Because it's easy when it's loud as fuck in a small bar to be like, we are just perfect. You know, like our sound is killing it right now.
Yeah.
And you listen back and something sounds thin and you're singing off key and you're out of time. It's like, fuck, man, I got to work on some stuff.
Well, I will say, too, like early on after one of our first gigs, we decided to record one of our practices at Nucci Space. They offer that service.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And we listened back to it, and we were absolutely distraught. We were like, this is what we sound like right now. Like, I mean, it was nothing short of embarrassing. We played 4 or 5 gigs, and we're like, is this what we've been playing like, I mean, in front of people. Some of them have been like full Saturday night crowd. You know what I mean? We're like, oh my god.
Yeah, gotta rework it.
It was. I don't want to say like a make or break moment, but it was one of those moments where it was like, okay, well, we can either roll over and define what kind of band we want to be as like, this is acceptable, we're still getting paid a couple $100, we get a free bar tab, is it really that important if we're doing our best? And every single person was like, fuck that.
Hell
like,
no, yeah.
You know what I mean? We all want to play at 110% every time.
That's awesome,
you
man.
know?
Yeah, that stuff's so revealing. It's good to hear you talk like that because just getting our short shows recorded in general is a wise move. And even videos. You guys ever dig back at some videos?
Oh, yeah.
Whole show videos can help a lot. It's like, whoa, I'm standing still a lot, or whoa, I'm not looking at the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, it shows you stuff, you know?
It's the nuances of it all.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, some of us show, like, the most stage presence out of, like, ever, and then some of us are just like very still. Like,
it's easy to be still. Yeah.
Some of us, quote.
Yeah, I might be talking a little bit of shit about him, but it's only because he's my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a stage presence issue? You working on it?
I have gotten better the last few times we've played, but probably took 20 shows before I started moving around a little bit.
Love it, man. That's growth, though. You know what I mean? That's how you do it.
I mean, you know, I remember that first time that I cracked a smile at the end of the show. Somebody's like, "Hey, did you guys notice? Like, he smiled tonight."
They did it, bro.
Usually, I'm just up there mean mugging, trying to just focus on not hitting wrong notes.
That's hilarious. He smiled. That's so funny. That's awesome, dude. I love to hear that y'all are playing a lot. That's just like everything you're saying is just like, that's the best thing you can do is play a lot. You know what I mean? Like in front of people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just the best in every way.
And I kind of got that a little bit of that inspiration from like a lot of the old blues guys who would say, you know, they do three sets a night. You know what
residency
I mean?
stuff.
And you know, they're always talking about, well, you're gonna run out of licks. You're gonna run out of licks. You don't need to play at 110% all the time because you're gonna run out of licks.
Totally.
You know, they always, and it's almost like, you know, their advice is pretty specific to guitar players. Take, you know, 3, 4, 5 notes and just kind of put parameters around yourself. But I heard that and internalized it, and you know, the idea, especially about playing music, not just for myself, but like putting parameters around your band, putting parameters around yourself for a night, for one gig, you know, and you can, instead of like having the world of wide open possibilities where, things can go really right, but you also have the opportunity, if you're going out there in space, to go really wrong. You know, I feel like we've gotten good results by like putting parameters around a show a little bit and being like, okay, well, this is a short set. We're only going to play for about an hour 15. Like, let's keep it pretty funky. Let's keep it pretty upbeat, pretty dancey. You know what I mean?
So, like genre parameters, or
not just that. It's also like playing wise and just, but especially like I try not to think too much in terms of genre and more so in terms of like the energy.
Gotcha.
You know, because there's not a super wide variety of genres we play, but I mean, there's a pretty wide representation of
like
blues,
rock?
funk. It's all rock.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is, you know, soul and funky and
awesome.
rocky and bluesy, and like it does have a little bit of variety to it. But yeah, I like to kind of try and get good results out of putting a limitation or two on yourself for the night, you know.
When you say energy, what exactly do you mean? Are you just talking about like set list flow to where people are getting more hype towards the end kind of stuff? That's important.
I'm very, very perhaps too conscious of how we stack our set lists, and I like to start out with a little bit of like a very like, you know, stringent set list for the first 5 or 6 songs, and then kind
like
of just read the crowd order-wise. Exactly.
Gotcha.
But it's really important to me to win them over early. You know? So a lot of times we'll start with, you know, like a pretty heavy, hard song with big drums, lots of toms, you know, just you know, just lots of energy,
get the
attention, and then break it down, get a little funky, but it's gotta be high tempo, it's gotta be high energy, no matter what genre it is. It's gotta be driving, you know, at first, and then we'll pull back a little, let them get a breather, let them go get a drink, you know.
It's awesome, man. You're talking like me. I'm another one of those guys that takes the set list thing like super serious. Personally, it's like, you could feel the energy flow. It's like, oh, we don't need that right now. And a lot of times I'm looking at our set list and looking at the next song like, no, that's not what we need right now.
That's
you know
exactly
what I mean?
what we do. Yeah. We'll make like a rough set list or something, or a sketch of, okay, these are the songs that we can choose from, all this stuff. And then we're like, okay, what fits the mood right now? So sometimes like the set list, it'll definitely not read the room, but as soon as...
How could it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You can't predict the future with that type of stuff. And if you play something wrong, you could lose 30 people in the crowd or whatever.
For real, man. They're
unforgiving.
We've watched it happen halfway through a set when we, without thinking about it, organized maybe 2 or 3 slow songs in a row.
Yeah.
And we watched half the room empty out, and we just doubled down and committed, because what are you going to do at that point? But then we learned our lesson quick.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, maybe don't give them 30 minutes of balance. Like,
oh shit!
That was show number 2. Okay, guys.
Lesson learned. Yeah. Well, that's fucking. You're saying all kind of stuff that I'm experiencing too. Because like in my band, what was I gonna say about that? We played a show at Paloma Park, and it was like an all cover show, and then we played Warehouse, which was like a all original show, and like a bunch of people from Paloma came to see us.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, we got to win them early, so you got to slide in a really good cover, like second or third, you know. And I saw him looking rather bored until that third song. I was like, all right, we got him, and then we hooked him in and kind of evened it out, you know. But stuff like that, dude, is so important to me. Like we stopped making set lists for cover shows, like 3-hour shows, just because I was like, I know I'm not going to follow it. Like, I'm going to look out and I'm going to know what we need to play energy-wise. Like, all right, we just gave them 2 bangers. We can slow it down right here for a song or 2. You know what I mean? So that's really smart that you guys are doing that, man. I don't think everybody does that, so that's good.
I think some of our other friends in bands have told us they actually stick to a set list
every night.
No, I mean it's not the
Yeah.
same. It changes
Yeah.
up, but like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they
Good
make
for them.
they make a set list, and it's good for them to know like before they play how
Yeah.
the flow of the show is intended to go.
Exactly.
You know, and I can see certain arguments for that, like
Totally.
security and like knowing where you're gonna go and how then, especially if you're like jamming like long on one song and you know, okay, well, we're here and I see a path forward to get to the next song through this jam. You know, it can help
cool.
knowing what you're going to go
Yes.
into as a group. You know, whereas like a lot of times we have a couple of songs that like are all in the same key, sort of similar tempo, and within a jam, you got a pretty good idea it's going to be one of maybe 3 or 4 things, but you really got to be on your toes and listening to who introduces it first.
Introduces like the melody or like
It
how do
could be a
you'll, like,
rhythm,
tease
like it
it,
depends on
and
what it
then-
is. Like if it's like if we're going into Red Hot Mama, like
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be that just working into the rhythm of
Uh-huh.
just dun dun dun, you know, before you necessarily actually
know.
hear the riff. You know, it's like we're trying to working on changing the rhythm a little bit to get into that. But then say, what's another one, Nick?
We do Shakedown Street, Ride Me
Shakedown
High.
Street is one that where it's absolutely the melody gets introduced, and
Yeah.
people like, at least for our band, like that's one of those ones people knows coming.
Yeah.
If we're in D, people know that at some point it's going to be either Ride Me High, Shakedown Street, Red Hot. Like there's a few options for us as far as jams
And
go.
then occasionally sprinkle in that Superstition going into
Ah.
drop D. Oh, it's so fun.
That is fun, man. That's cool that you guys blend them together like that. I'd say one of the big pros to having the set list is like transitions, kind of like you're saying, like a lot less dead space of me looking at my bass player and going, "What's next?" You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's
What's
bad,
up,
right?
yeah.
That 3 or 4 seconds feels like forever.
Yeah, it does. It gets real quiet in there, man.
Oh, man.
And they'll murder you with the request sometimes. Like fucking, you know, I don't know, insert any song, but they're just
American
out.
Pie, Bob
Yeah.
O'Reilly.
Yeah,
We were playing at Roadhouse, I guess about a month ago, and it was like a parents' weekend for something. There are a lot of parents in there.
Something.
Some dad hands us $100 bill, and he says, "Y'all just play something old," and we were like,
Done.
"Yeah, this is the
All the stuff
easiest
we play.
$100 we've ever made." Like,
Gotcha. That's awesome, man. Fucking, you can't beat those tips like that sometimes,
it's
man.
like, you request something general like that for us, like we'll try
Yeah.
we'll try our best.
Yeah.
And then we had somebody request we did another parents weekend thing for KD, and we had one of their moms request American Pie, and we were all just like, well, they're paying us a lot of money today, so I don't want to say no. So Colby, you got this one, right? I'm just gonna step off stage, get a beer, like
you got it.
Yeah, they
left
just-
him.
Yeah, I didn't even play. Like half the band walked off and
This
just
guy
kind
he
of.
pulls up the chords and the lyrics on his phone and pulls it out of his butt just in the
went all right?
moment. It went all right.
See, it's such
They were happy with
it's a tough needle to thread because it's like, fuck, like I would like, especially when you get a good request, it's like, all right, that's a fucking good song. We just don't know it, you know?
Yeah.
And they expect you to fucking know everything like you're damn, like you're the radio, you know what I mean? Which is
Jukebox
tough
or
sometimes.
something, like-
Yeah, it's like, fuck, we could try it, but I don't think it'll be very good, you know?
We
So
got
I don't
something
know.
similar to that.
We've started getting a little bit of traction with like the really hardcore like widespread panic fans in
Ooh,
Athens.
Nice, yeah. You guys do have the whole like jam culture thing going on, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we do
yeah.
play a lot of Panic too, but we've a lot of like real hardcore Panic heads have started to like queue in and come out, and it's always like I want to indulge their requests, but sometimes they hit us with like a real deep cut,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, man, like I
ain't
love
got
that
that.
song. I don't even know where I'd begin on like.
It's tough, man. I mean, it's fun, especially when you get a request for one you already know. It's like, yes, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, we got
Got
you.
you.
We got you,
Don't
man.
worry.
We were playing board set. You guys ever do board set?
We haven't done it yet. We'd love to get in there.
I
at
hear
some
it's like
point,
a
though.
perfect place
Force
for
Head.
like jams. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. There's it's an accepting crowd to music of any sort, which I love. You guys know what board set's like, but like,
I've been to some of the open mics and stuff.
yeah, the
before,
open mics are fun. That's kind of where we started. But Borset's literally my favorite place to play. We just got off tour, and I still love Borset the most because, like, just no matter what, there will be a crowd there that's down to hear music. That's why when I saw the Roadhouse thing like start happening in like I don't know July, I was kind of wondering what the difference was, like why people were going over there as opposed to Borset. Yeah,
That's 100% the Underground Springhouse guys.
think so. It was
This
because it was
past,
like
this past spring they were playing under a pseudonym there every week doing cover sets.
They were playing there what?
Under a pseudonym. I believe they were playing under Jackie Big Hoss. But
I remember that.
It was all them. They were just playing all covers.
Yeah.
And they did that from like March through the summertime. And it just got people like primed and ready every week, every Thursday night. Let's go to Roadhouse. Let's see a jam band. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Because I never even heard of it. Like the Roadhouse, like I've been here in Athens for 4 years. I don't think I ever noticed it until they started doing it and like Charlie Haas trio stuff as well. I was like, okay.
Yeah, apparently like hardly anybody who goes to Georgia knows about Roadhouse, but then they're like, where's Roadhouse? And you're like, right beside Little Italy. And then they're like, oh, light bulb goes off.
You
in
walked
the head.
past it a million times.
Exactly.
They do have a really good built-in crowd there, though. I mean, they're even if literally no students are there, you're going to have 30 or 40 locals there, and they're usually pretty nice folks. There's some really good people that go there on the regular. But it's nice because it seems like after the last year of bands coming through and really grinding it out there, I mean, it's carved out its own little space in the music scene for like jammy music, you know. And now the fans of that are the students know about Roadhouse. They go. It's sort of a if you know kind of thing, which I like. I think that's cool.
I think that's cool too. Yeah,
feels like you're in on something almost. You know.
Yeah, it's very cool because like especially since like I've been in Athens for 4 years and like haven't heard a peep about it until this past year. Like and now it's like every weekend, to you guys or Fun Room or James or somebody.
Shout out Peach Street Band.
Yeah.
Street
Heard of
Band.
them? It's like somebody every weekend in the Athens Jam Ham is like, hey, Roadhouse Friday. And I haven't made it to many yet, but I think it's very cool. It's a nice little culture that's going on, which is kind of the whole point of the jam thing anyways, right?
Exactly. It's a family. I mean,
it's very cool.
There to bring each other up and support. So like,
and the playing's cool. Like
exactly.
I'm like before I came to Athens, I wasn't really into the jam thing, and I'm still not like balls deep in or anything, but I'm a fan now. You know what I mean? I admire it. I admire the whole like not knowing where this song's gonna go thing. It's like
plus, as
cool.
a guitar player, you just have to admire because there's some serious bad motherfuckers in this town. I mean,
gunslingers,
serious ones. I mean,
it's like a different sector of Athens. Like you don't just see like I'm trying to think of a good example, but like I don't know, just like 3-hour popular cover band like that's just playing hits, you know. You just don't see them going to Roadhouse. But you guys, like jammy, it's like only jammy, which is cool. Is that purposeful, you think, or is that just...
I think it's sort of a consequence of, like I said earlier this year, like Ush was doing their thing there, and then I've known those guys for years, and it kind of made me want to do it too. I was like, well, if they're going to play Roadhouse, like we could probably do it too.
Yeah.
And then our friend that was bartending there at the time just happened to hit us up and was like, hey, do you guys want to play? We were like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And it just sort of went from there. We made friends with the owner, Jasmine, or she's the manager.
Okay.
A cool lady, also loves the jam music. Everybody there is like into Panic, into Fish, you know, Humphreys McGee, like stuff like that. So like we got on stage and like ripped a Panic cover and they were like, oh hell yeah. Like, okay, like let's go, you know.
Come back the next week.
Yeah. That night they were like, so do you guys want to play like 6 more times through the rest of the summer? And we were just like, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll work around it. Like
that's awesome, man. Did you get any of that? I believe there's not much of a jam scene in Statesboro though. Is there? What was it like up there music wise?
There is like a music scene, like a little bit, you know. There's a lot of open mics, which is like kind of where we got our start playing on stages. Open mics at the pizza place that I worked at. I'd get off work, walk out the kitchen, and then Colby would have my guitar waiting on me.
That's sick, man. That's awesome.
But there's not a big music scene. There is a cool bar down there called the Blue Room, which you guys should check out if you haven't played there.
I'm talking to the guy.
You should. It's a cool spot.
Yeah, I got a phone call with my man on Monday. We're working on that.
Destroy that place.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's a cool place, man. It's sick.
It's big. They have legit sound and lights. They have
built-in crowd.
Yeah, a huge built-in crowd. Every Saturday, every night that place is packed.
Love that.
And
man.
I mean, with you guys and like the throwback rock and just like the classics and the super like popular stuff, you guys will destroy there.
Thank you, man.
But
I think you're right.
A lot of jam bands don't really come through. Underground Springhouse has a few times. Right? AFTM, if you want to call them, they're kind of jammy.
They kind of are. Yeah,
they're on the outskirts. I would say. But
we talked about them the last episode. They're kind of tough to pin down to a genre.
Yeah, we saw them. Well,
Silver.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, that was a really killer.
That was cool, dude. I enjoyed the shit out of that.
War Pigs was
cool. You know, I didn't expect that one.
Oh yeah.
Very
No,
cool,
we were talking
man.
to Cutter too after that, and he said that they played that in New York, like on a whim earlier this year, and that like fights were breaking out on the floor, and I was just like, "Let's go!"
I love
like,
Cutter, man. Yeah, I really love. I said this in the last episode. I Granville, who I'm sure you guys know, nice
Actually, I
fellas.
haven't met those guys or seen their band yet, but I've heard nothing but good things.
They're so sick, man. So sick. They got the whole like kind of country rock thing going on. Very cool. AFTM like really structures their songs well instrumentally. If you notice, I'm sure you guys noticed. Like the breakdowns and the choruses have like an instrumental thing going on.
They have
really
a
cool.
really nice like tension and release to it.
Yeah, dude, they're smart.
Masterful, I would say.
They're smart songwriters, dude.
Out of anybody in the last like several years that I'm aware of that's come out of Athens, they might be the best ones.
I think they are, man. They're my personal favorite, and I'm just a fan of all the guys because I know them all so well, and they're all just doing their thing, you know. It's super talented, every single fucking one of them, man.
Exactly.
So talented.
Totally agree.
Everybody in Silver, they were singing them songs back, man. They know it's cool.
I looked into the crowd and I saw everybody mouthing the words.
Bro.
I was like, hell yeah.
Even to like, I mean, and I think they only have like 6 singles, so like they played for 2.5 hours. Most like, well, how many covers they play? 3.
They probably played like 3 covers, and
That's pretty
all of that
badass,
was like
man.
new stuff as well for like their new album apparently.
And it wasn't like there's not many bars you can get away with, or not many artists that can get away with that in like a bar circuit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if we try to do 3 hours of original music, we get murdered up there. You know? We get burned out of there. But they just did it really well.
Empty.
But yeah, how are you guys coming along on the originals? You guys got any in the works?
We actually just played our first one that is quote unquote completed, aka good enough to perform.
Yep.
When did we play that for the first time at Roadhouse last week?
Yep.
And then we played it again. We played like a private like birthday party for it was actually Cutter's girlfriend's 21st birthday.
Oh, she's so nice. I love her.
Meg is really good friends with Owen's girlfriend.
Gotcha.
And has been to like probably all of our shows. So she asked us to play, and we were like, of course.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and it's gotten a good response so far. Honestly, like we've tried to really at the beginning and the end be like, that was our song. But it has a really similar kind of vibe to like the music that we like to play. So I don't necessarily know if people realize it
blends in really well. Is what you're
blends
saying?
well.
Oh, that's a good problem though, man. If it's holding up to these other songs, that's great.
I mean, it's cool. I think it'll probably continue to go through some changes. Like it's Owen originally had the idea for it, and I think it was meant as more of like to have a little bit more swing, almost like a salsa sort of
like
rhythm
a New Orleans blues kind of.
And
Dr.
it's
John
kind of turned
style.
into a much more like driving
rockin' song.
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll probably try to take the approach like many other jam bands before us, and I'm sure there will be fast versions, slow versions, salsa versions.
That is a jam thing,
what I mean?
right?
It just kind of whatever you're feeling that night, however the song starts off, will probably set the tone for the night.
That's very cool. Interesting.
And it's a simple enough song that there's a lot of room to play around with stylistic changes and stuff like that. It's 3 chords, and it just kind of
does this thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. Well, I'm stoked to hear this. You guys got a record release plan on or anything like that, or is it just like get some songs together first?
I would really like to. We've got a few more ideas that are brewing, and nothing that's quite as finished as this. So I've been saying that I'd like to try and get 3 or 4 things together and maybe try and get some studio time before the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to happen because I'd really like to try these songs out live before we record them. But we do have this really shockingly high quality recording from Roadhouse, and I keep telling the guys we need to just find 4 or 5 cuts off of it that are good and just
live record, baby.
Just put it out. Not even as like a live record, like the whole thing, but just find some cuts and have something out there that we can link to, something that we can push.
Dude, I think that'd be really cool for you guys to start with the live. That kind of set the
Live from the
statement,
Roadhouse, baby.
Oh yeah,
because everybody wants their first production, like they want their first one like all gassed up, and record it perfect. But if you guys change the stigma, that'd be sick.
I don't know. We haven't really talked a lot about it. It's more I feel not pressure, but I want something to put out there to push. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something to work.
I want people to know that like we're not just a cover band. You know what I mean?
Totally. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to be playing original music. Like the first time that we played the song live at Roadhouse last Thursday night, I mean, the feeling of it was just like, I mean, it was weird.
Yeah.
You know?
It's different.
It was like
I was like,
our
this is
song.
our song. Like, and I just don't think I can go back now the same way that, like, the first 20 minutes of playing on stage at Roadhouse the first time for our first gig ever, all of our first gigs ever, not just, like, paying gig or whatever, like,
Just first time.
The only thing we played was open mics before that. You know what I mean?
Really?
Our first gig ever. All
That's
five
awesome.
of us. By the end of the first night, I think we were all just like, yeah, I don't think we can ever go back now. Like, we have to be doing this. I don't care at what level it is.
I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean...
It's an addiction.
And then another thing that happened a couple months ago is a few of us, Nick came, Owen went with us as well. We saw legendary Athens band Bloodkin at Nowhere Bar.
I've heard of them. I don't know anything about them, but I've heard of them.
They were kind of coming up at the same time as Panic. In fact, a lot of Panic songs that the fans love are actually written by Bloodkin.
So kind of 90s-ish? Or
80s,
mid-
90s for
80s,
sure.
90s,
They
okay.
are legends of this local scene. They've done it all from opening for Panic and other bands. But here they are 30, 40 years later, you know, and they're still playing at Nowhere Bar. They're still doing the damn thing. And it's like, I don't care if I've dedicated, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like it was like, I was like, I've got to be doing that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it was like looking into
Calling.
like a mirror almost, but not a mirror, just kind of like the future sort of.
Yeah, dude.
It was
That's
like,
good vision.
I don't care if I'm playing to 10 people at a pizza shop. Like, I feel at this point like I have caught the bug. You know what I mean?
You're hooked.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's incredibly addictive, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly addictive.
Those weekends where we do like two-a-days, like we'll rip through 4 gigs on a Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Man, the week after that is just depressing.
It really is,
I mean,
man.
it's just like we're just all like, "What's going on? Like, why am I sad?" Like,
Dude.
Those in between weeks are like
They're the
definitely
worst,
the
bro.
worst. And
Yeah.
we had like probably 3 weeks where we didn't play a gig or anything, and it as soon as we got back, I just felt like I was myself again.
Wash.
It flushed over me. I was just like,
It's dangerously addictive, bro. Cause like you're saying, dude, like we're on like a 3-week break now. We did literally from August to now every weekend, almost 3 shows a weekend.
yeah, that flyer I saw was fat.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We worked hard on it. It was fun, man. And then it was like, now it's like these weeks, even this past weekend, I was literally like, why am I alive? Like, it was like an anxious feeling, like, what am I doing? You know, like, if we're not
something
playing.
feels off.
Yeah,
Like,
it's weird because you get used to like just like having something to think about all week. Like, oh, what are we playing on Friday? Oh, where are we playing on Friday? That kind of stuff. It's kind of fucking scary, man. A little bit.
We obviously hit Roadhouse pretty hard and pretty frequently. So when we have times like that, we try to really learn some new songs, write some songs, you know,
Be productive.
and come in with it with a little bit something new. Because I felt really bad for him the first several times that we played there because we pretty much like learned a set list worth of material and then did not have time to really. We could improve upon it, but it was really hard to add to it. So for the first like. Probably 8 or 9 times we played Roadhouse, it was like different orders of the same.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it, but I think it's a personal thing, like a personal hunger that you want with the music. Like you want to, I mean,
Yes.
a lot of the time you go to those bars and everything, you will have a lot of new people seeing you, and it's their first time seeing you. But some of those people, they've seen you a couple times, and then it's like, if you want to, I don't know, get something refreshing going, and
I know what you're
even
talking
for
about.
us, like even for us playing different songs, new songs is so refreshing, and we're just like, we learn so much as musicians as well, learning new songs. Like you just learn new licks, you learn everything.
Like research and
it's
development.
Way you
also
get
really
better.
rewarding when you go to learn a new song and you consciously are trying to up the difficulty a little.
Yeah.
And then when you finally play it and you nail it, that's a good feeling. Like the other day we played Trampled Underfoot, the Zeppelin song. It's like our first Zeppelin cover.
Yeah,
but like when we nailed it, I was like, we just fucking covered Zeppelin and
Let's go.
and killed it. Like I was like, what a far cry from like you know, the 3 and 4 chord, like Tom Petty jams, which I love.
Me too.
But it's like, you know.
Progress.
Yes, exactly. It's like playing a little more complex music, getting a little bit better at it. It's like, it makes the simpler stuff better.
Totally.
But also, it's like, it's the feeling of accomplishment. You know?
I love that, man. It's really well put. And it gives you something to look forward to in the set because, like, when you're playing 3 shows a weekend, like you're saying, like, you just don't have time to learn 4 new covers by the next weekend. And it's like, man, if you just have one to hold on to, it's like, all right, I know this fun one's coming up.
One
that
really good
that we
one.
haven't
Yep.
done yet, which is great, man. And it is easy it's tough though when some of your favorite songs start getting stale, like songs like you're just playing them every night. It's like, okay, this is one of my favorite songs.
The
Play
crowd
Midnight
pleasers.
Rider one more time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck, I love that song. I love that song forever, but I don't want to play it again right now, And then people get to knowing you for it, and they request it every time because they know you like it. It's like, fuck, it's just like a loophole.
We were playing the other day, and we were like in a jam, and I heard them start to hit that bun, like they were soloing, and they were working that lick into the tail end of their solo.
Yeah.
And I look up at Owen, our keys player, and he's literally rolling his eyes.
He's like,
not
Not
this
again."
again.
Shit, man. Well, that's hilarious, dude. And honestly, the best way to look at the covers, everybody has to do them, and like they're fun, and it's like research and development for the originals. Like,
Absolutely.
everything that went into you guys' original, I'm sure you pulled it from another cover. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah. Owen was even Owen was the person who wrote the song, and he found like the way to play the song by learning one of the songs that we were going to learn. We were going to learn this song by Marcus King called One Day She's Here, and he messed up the song like playing through it whenever he was learning it, and he was like, wait, this actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then wrote some lyrics, and then
We're on our Bob Ross shit, full of happy accidents.
I love it,
exactly.
man. There's a whole book about that. I don't know if you guys have read it. It's like Stealing on Purpose. It's about music. You ever read it? Or
I haven't.
or it's like Borrowing on Purpose, some shit like that, about how like all music is like you can use other songs to influence yours. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's
Yeah.
only
Without
7
stealing
notes, so
it.
I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying.
everything's
what do you
taking a
do?
little bit. So that's interesting, man. I would love to see you guys. You guys are gonna work up a few songs and put out an EP or something eventually, right?
Oh,
Hopefully.
absolutely.
without a doubt.
I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's going to happen by the end of the year, any studio time, but I think by this spring, I think probably by April. I don't want to put a timeline on it officially because obviously we haven't even really finished writing songs and doing all that thing, but I think it's totally conceivable that by quarter one of the spring,
Segment 12.
Q1. Yeah, I think we ought to have, at least a handful, enough for an EP.
Dude.
That's what I think what we want to do is either that or kind of the AFTM approach of have it all done and then, sort of slow
Play
drip.
it.
Yeah, slow drip like, singles.
Yeah. I think you couldn't go wrong with either way, man. Couldn't go wrong with either way. That's interesting. I'd love to hear that from you guys. Have you guys played any bigger places like 40 Watt or anything like that?
Actually,
we might have a 40-watt gig lined up.
Ooh, is it a big secret?
I don't know if it's 100% happening
so
yet,
maybe.
but we've been approached about it.
Yeah.
And
Who with?
we're Bird Dog Jubilee and Big Chungus.
Oh, I love Big Chungus, bro. Fuck, man. You guys are playing with the Chung. Do you know when?
Chungus. It's December 7th. I'm not sure if it's 100% on the books yet, but if it is, we'll be there.
I love Big Chungus. That would be a good fit for you guys. You guys have seen them, right? Have
Yeah.
you? They're sick. They're sick. I was at the last one at the 40 Watt. They're pretty cool. Big fan of all those guys, too. Same guys, I guess.
Yeah.
And we figured that would be like the perfect lineup rather than anything else. Like, I mean, I feel like Bird Dog Jubilee and Big Chungus.
What are they like? I don't know very much about
They're
them.
they're a full on. I would call them a jam band.
Really?
You know what I
Okay.
mean? They do a lot of like. I mean, they're an Atlanta band. They've done like post Fish concerts, post Panic
sick,
concerts.
sick, sick,
They
sick.
play a lot of like Aisle 5 and like Steady Hand Brewing.
Didn't they just do one at Aisle 5?
Yep.
I'm about to say, I feel like I've heard of them, like I'm aware of them, but I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, there's some bad motherfuckers, and you should listen to their music if you're hearing this.
How do you spell that?
Bird Dog Jubilee, G-U-B-J. Sorry, J-U-B-I-L-E-E.
I'm going to have to check them out, man. I'm kind of stotoked about this. I saw they
pretty
played.
cool.
I think they have a new
They're actually
single
also
as well.
playing 420 Fest this spring, so
That's
be
exciting.
there before they blow up.
catch them quick. I love that, man. Well, shit, that's exciting, dude. I'd love to see you guys in 40 Watt. That'd be fun. It's such a fun place to play. You guys have never played there, right?
That was the first
We've
time
kind of
we
actually
saw
sort of
you.
avoided it.
Really?
Up to this point.
Any reason for that?
I want to feel like we earned it when we do
Yeah.
step foot on that stage.
Totally.
It's a very trivial thing, and the opportunity has arisen once before, and I was like, I don't want to do this because I don't think that we've earned it. I don't think we've put in, the time. I don't think we're tight enough as a band. I don't want to get up there, and I kind of treat the 40 Watt with a lot of respect.
Me as well.
We're from right outside Athens. Always grew up coming to Athens. In high school, I was a big punk guy, hardcore. I grew up coming to the 40 Watt.
Yeah. It carries some weight.
Yes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't want
Highly
it to,
regarded.
I don't want our first appearance to be cavalier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
gotcha.
want it to be us on our A game when we're ready.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's respectable, man. I won't say a lot of bands think like that, so hold on to that. That's good. You know what I mean? And I think you're completely right because like it's just one of those places where it's like, fuck, really? We're playing here? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's like
And
the Kurt Cobain signature on the wall, and
Yeah.
my little rinky-dink cover band is like,
Yeah.
you know, like something don't match up there.
Yeah, man. I know exactly what you're saying. It
But
was
you can't be scared of the place just because of
That's
that.
true.
So it's like I think if this Bird Dog and Big Chungus show happens, which
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is, I think that's a really great first step for us.
I think so too, and it'll look really great on you guys' track record and everything for like future gigs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys building an EPK right now, kind of, or like an electronic press kit? You know what I mean?
I actually don't know what that is.
That
or-
might be the
I'm
next
not
step
really
for you
familiar.
guys.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It's kind of like just like your track record. Like it'll be a website link, kind of with like your list of covers, your list of shows you played, your like band member breakdown, bio, some press pics,
Oh,
and like
okay.
that's what you can kind of like send out to venues.
Like a
if you go.
portfolio.
Exactly,
And just-
exactly. And that would be what you guys would kind of send out to like I don't know if you want to go play in Clemson or Tuscaloosa or Atlanta. And yeah, I'd say start building one of those as soon as you can because that's like your resume kind of. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We
I
kind of
mean-
used our Instagram for that initially,
Yeah.
but I think, I mean, at some point that does get,
insufficient.
Yeah,
insufficient.
it's
And-
like a less professional look than an actual EPK. And
Exactly.
they're easy to make, man. There's like auto generator websites. After this, I'll show you guys. But I think that'd
cool.
be a great step for you guys if you're. I assume you have ambitions of playing outside of Athens at some point,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're really like right now. I think at first I was really gung ho about it. We played an out of town gig in Atlanta like pretty early on, and I was
Smith's
like, we
Old
just
Bar?
need to. No, we just played for some UGA grads. That
Okay.
we played their old fraternity, and then they were looking for a band, and it just
Yeah,
you know,
worked
it
out.
exactly. But yeah, I was pretty gung ho about it, but then it turned out to be quite a lot of work to get all of our gear and everybody up there because me and Nick and Owen all live in Athens. Colby
Yeah.
lives in Buckhead. Garrett lives in Madison, so they're both an
Okay.
hour out in different directions.
Yeah, that's tough.
So we do have to kind of be pretty cognizant about like what we're doing, but I think we've gotten our feet under us a little bit. We're pretty confident about playing now, which is sort of a more recent thing, at least for me personally. It kind of took a while, but I'm starting to actually feel like, oh, I am a musician. I play in
Yeah.
a band, rather than just like I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
It felt like a hobby at first, and now it's like definitely still a hobby, but like it's something to take seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
There
what
was
you mean.
definitely like that one night that we were just playing on fire and everything, and I feel like afterwards we all like huddled up afterwards, and we just said, "Okay, I think we're a band now." Like we
You
truly
crossed over. kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's say, I think it'd be good for you if you could figure it out, which I'm sure you guys will, to play out of town as much as you can, honestly, because, like, well, I don't know, maybe, because you guys, the whole jam thing is playing a lot frequently, because you guys kind of have, like, the residency thing going on now, and, like, we play other places so we don't, like, burn out Athens, per se, but you guys don't seem to be burning it out now, per se. Have you had any effects of that kind of, like, oh, we just can't play to our same people again, or, like, oh, we need a new, you know what I mean? No,
We have had a touch of that, and that's where it came from. Like we had to just be like, look, Roadhouse, like we need a break from Roadhouse for a few weeks because we have to come back with like new material.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
so we did have to like, tell them that we needed a couple weeks off so that we could come back, and thankfully Christmas break is like kind of a built-in equivalent of that. We're gonna probably just spend our time grinding away over the next. We got a couple gigs before like Christmas break gets out.
Where are you playing at? Anywhere in particular?
December 2nd, I believe it's the last Thursday before the school year gets out. That is our last Roadhouse gig for the year,
Nice.
and then we're doing a maybe the 40 watt on December 7th, and then on December 3rd we're playing in Atlanta at a private party. So those will
Sick,
probably be
man.
like our last few things for the year. And other than that, I think we're just going to really try and grind away, sort of. Not find a new direction to go in, but just kind of trying to find a new well for covers, and just keep grinding away on the originals and
Just
sort
like
of
honing your craft, kind of.
Mhm. Exactly.
Interesting, man. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear you guys got a few coming up. I'll be there on, did you say the 2nd at Roadhouse?
Yep.
Cool. That'll be the last week of school. I'm gonna have to swing by for that because I haven't exactly caught you guys yet. And I met one of your band members. God, I can't remember his name.
Garrett, I think.
Is
At
Garrett
Rabbit Hole?
I think so, man. I meet a lot of people at Rabbit Hole.
Yeah.
I feel like it was him though. And he said, I was like, oh, I've been following you guys for a while. He's a nice kid. Nice kid.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So I'm excited to see what you guys do. Maybe you guys should start throwing your weight out there at like Clemson. Maybe Clemson's a really close town that nobody really goes and plays.
Yeah, it's only like
the Ush
3-4
guys
hours
actually
away.
suggested. I think it's called Loose Change.
Yeah, it's Loose Change. I
Yeah,
fucking love.
they suggested we reach out to them. They were
Oh.
like, you guys would probably do well there.
I would love to put you guys in touch with Loose Change. I fucking love playing in there. It's my top 3 out of everywhere we
Nice.
play because
Really?
it's Clemson's one of those towns where like they don't have a ton of bands coming through. So when someone new comes through, they're like, "Oh fuck yes, we don't get much of this." Like I doubt there's any like super jammy bands like you guys there. I mean, that's probably not a fair guess, but like if you come into town and you're doing your own thing, they fucking go crazy, man. It's a
Cool.
cool town. I feel like it's
yeah.
a slept on college town, dude. There, we played there like literally like once a week for the whole tour almost, and it was. I didn't get tired of it, man. Loose Change goes hard.
Nice.
It's definitely like a pretty place. I've been
Yeah.
up there. I went up there for like senior year of high school
Yeah.
or something. Just like visited up there, just
Yeah.
like randomly, and
It's a good looking town.
it's a beautiful town. Yeah, I
And it's
mean,
not like Athens where there's 80s bars. There's like 4 bars. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
like
the
if there's
downtown's
a
very
if there's a
condensed.
band
It's
at
like
Loose
5
Change,
streets
people
just
go to
all
Loose Change.
intersect.
That's what you'll find out about Statesboro.
Yeah?
It's the same way.
I was
And-
gonna play Shenanigans, bro. How's Shenanigans? I heard it went out of business or something.
Yeah, they got a little bit of trouble selling. Yeah. But
Ooh, shit.
yeah, they Shenanigans. I have never seen a band in Shenanigans, but you never know.
That's funny because we were booked there around the time when that was happening, and we were going to be like the first band back or whatever because they hadn't done any forever. And then that happened, and I was like, I guess this isn't happening anymore. They're like, yeah,
Too
probably
hot to
not.
handle, all right.
Yeah. You know it, man. But yeah, dude, I'm excited about Statesboro just because people do get down there. We're playing Sigma Chi at Georgia Southern. I don't know if you guys have played there. Very, very nice guys so far. They've hooked us up with a spring show, but I feel like
I'd love to put you in touch too with my old fraternity.
I would love to.
If you ever
I'd
reach
love to.
out,
I feel like
you'd probably kill there.
Yeah, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
I'd appreciate
They love
that.
your brand of rock and roll.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, shit, let me write that down. I have to
Honestly,
ask you about that.
Statesboro would be a really great town for you because
Yeah.
like just all of like the music that you play. I mean, I've only seen one show of yours, but yeah.
Where'd you
like,
see us at?
40
40
Watt with
Watt.
Fun
Okay.
Room and
That was a fun show. I didn't realize you guys were there.
Asymptomatics opening.
Yeah,
That was a fun one. I enjoyed the
Yeah.
shit out of that one. That was
was a
that
really
was,
good
see, that
show.
was like a heavy thing, like
Yeah.
because Bradley, you know Bradley, of course. Bradley put in a good word for you to get you on here. Shout out Bradley Reeves. Bradley, that was one of those things where he had offered us the 40 Watt. It would have been my second time there. And I was like, all right, let's find a headliner. Let's find somebody that'll lead this Calvary, whatever. He's like, no, you guys. I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like whoa.
I was like,
that's,
hold on there. He's like, no, man, you guys got it. You guys got it. I was like, all right. I trusted him, and it ended up going really well, didn't it?
Yeah,
You guys
it
have
was a
fun?
great
oh
show.
yeah,
Huh?
oh yeah.
I ended
Great show.
up.
Got hammered on those cheap ass highlights and
the PBRs there.
yeah.
It was a good lineup, and I remember thinking after that it was really heavy, you know, kind of like you're saying. Like, you don't want to go in there and fuck it up. You don't want to go in 40 Watt and headline and sell 90 tickets and be like, oh, fuck, we let everybody here down.
yeah,
There was
that
a
was
good
our big
crowd
thing,
though,
too.
Yeah,
from
thank
what
you.
I remember.
It's like 350 is what we did, I think. I'm pretty
Yeah.
proud of that. Pretty proud.
Good
That's
shit,
one of my
man.
favorite
Really,
shows,
yeah.
man.
And that was like also in the middle of the week too. It was like a
Yeah.
Wednesday or something,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Like Thursday, something like that. Like
School
not,
hadn't even started back
yeah,
yet.
not on like an opportune time necessarily.
Yeah,
so,
man.
you know, you should definitely be proud of that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You guys are going to get in there and do the same thing. I'm sure of it. I'll be there. I'm excited for you guys to see what you do with it.
We'll see what happens. Give it the old college try.
What else, have you guys ever? What I was going to say about Statesboro is it kind of reminds me of Milledgeville in the fact that like they both should be music towns, kind of, but they're not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there should be more of a scene, in my opinion, but I don't think there is really. Unfortunately, you know.
There's
Maybe the same thing
some,
with
like,
Clemson,
country
you know?
singers and stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and not a lot of like bands though.
Yeah.
You know, like for whatever reason, like obviously people like rock music,
Yeah.
but it's just it gets way more like, you know, Statesboro is known for Luke Bryan and
Yeah.
Cole Swindell,
Yeah,
and,
the
like,
country
those
scene.
two guys, and you know, there's a million. This is not meant disrespectfully to the guys out there doing it right now, but there's a million of those get brand of
Pop country kind of
country
guys.
bro.
Yeah.
You know,
Bro country
boyfriend
thing.
country, as I call it. Snap tracks and
Yeah.
baby.
Beers. I don't hate some of the stuff. I like some of the
Nah,
old
it's
Luke
catchy
Bryan.
as hell,
Yeah,
but-
Cole Swindell stuff.
yeah.
That old stuff's good, man. What was I gonna say about that? Yeah, that's not many rock bands. I'm glad you guys are a rock band because like we go to Tuscaloosa and we go to Clemson and people are like fucking losing their shit after the show. Like, man, we don't get rock bands through here ever. It's like all country, like ever. We've never seen a rock band here like you guys. I was like, really? Fucking Athens, we got plenty of them. You know what I mean? It's like I'm glad that we're in a rock town. If you get what I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard. It's there's no way in my no conceivable future where like Athens, Georgia does not have like a strong rock scene. I mean, it is like baked into. You know what I mean?
And country kind of gets murdered here. You know what I mean? Like there's not the bro country thing going on here, really. Wouldn't you say? Like I mean, there's a few guys like Jameson and like a few other guys like that. I don't know if you know him.
I'm not aware of the bro country scene here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm sure there's some hipster out there that's going to be the next big. You know?
Yeah, he's killing it right now. Yeah, sure. We just don't know who he is. We just don't know who he is.
You know, the next big outlaw alt country guy,
but I think it's so interesting, man.
We did have Future Birds.
That's a good point. Good point.
Birds, pretty countryish. I'd put them in that camp.
They lean that way. That way a little bit.
They have pedal steel.
Yeah, that's all it takes, right? Yeah. That's so interesting to me, though, that like a town like Statesboro could be so like bro country specialized, pretty much like I don't know, 85% of what's there.
Oh yeah.
And then you come to Athens and it's like 85% rock bands. It's like why? You know what I'm saying? Like. You know what I mean? And they go to Nashville or whatever, and it's something different. It's like, how does that happen? It's just like a culture thing. I think that's fascinating. I don't know why.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, you're definitely right. It is weird how it's sort of. I mean, it at least in Athens, you know, it's like. There's other stuff there. There's a thriving punk scene. There's plenty of like rap and EDM,
indie rock kind of stuff.
Tons of indie rock. Shout out Cannon in the Boxes.
I love Cannon. Cannon was the first guest we ever had on here. Cannon in the Boxes. Yeah,
love that guy.
Damn, hell yeah.
Springhouse was like the 15th guest, and that was like a big episode because they're huge. You know, everybody's watching that shit.
I think Jam is definitely like on the come up in general, though. I think a lot of people are kind of getting tired of like the pop. Music and Jam is just so different.
Yeah,
like
nationally speaking,
jarring.
I think the biggest up and coming rock bands right now are all jam bands.
Think
At
so?
least in terms of maybe in terms of like selling tickets and filling up rooms and stuff. Guys like Marcus King, he's not in the jam band or anything, but like he's obviously like on the come up. You know, and he kind of he's adjacent to the camp bands like Goose, though. I mean, Goose just sold out 2 sold out nights at the Easter. That's like 4,500 capacity. Woo! 2 sold out nights of that. I mean, that's crazy for a rock band in 2021.
Man. That's a lot.
You know?
Yeah. And it's like I hate to say trendy because it's not trendy, but like I never knew shit about jam bands until I came to Athens. And now it's like just what you hear everybody talk about kind of, you know?
It's definitely like an insulated scene, but then you're shocked when you go to a festival or you go to your first Dead show and you realize, like the first time I saw Dead and Company and I realized, I thought I was just like, oh, I'm 20 years old. I'm like the only guy I know that likes this music. Oh, wait. I just pulled up to Lakewood and there's 25,000 other people exactly like me. You know what I mean?
Secret's out. The secret's out.
It's like, oh, so it's not small. It's not underground. It's just its own little corner of the world.
That's fascinating, man. I was actually reading about Dead & Co. yesterday. Or I think it was Dead & Co. I don't know if you guys know anything about Altamont, the Stone show where that people got killed or whatever.
Yeah, we actually I have a poster. Is it
Mick Jagger wearing the hat?
Yeah,
I've seen that poster. I think
it's like one of the cheap ones you get at like Target. And stuff.
That's sick, dude.
Mass printed, but
I was reading in a book. I was in fucking Barnes and Noble stealing the knowledge yesterday, and it was saying that Dead & Co. was supposed to open that day, and that it was so sketchy that they pulled out last minute. I was like, well, fuck.
Wow,
smart,
which is like
smart guys.
Pretty wild because that a lot of that I think the incidents came from like the Stones got the Hell's Angels to do security. Yeah. Well, like the Dead and the Hells Angels were like this, the whole time.
It was their idea. Yeah. And
then they were like, oh, yeah, they brought Jeffrey. That guy's pretty scary.
I'm out of here. That's hilarious. That's literally what I was reading is that it was the Dead & Co.'s manager's idea to bring the Hells Angels out, and then the Stones got all the bad press for it because they headlined or whatever. But that's hilarious, man. I don't know. I don't know why I'm reading shit about that. Shit happened fucking 50 years ago. Yeah. But anyways, we're an hour and 5 in. This is usually when I try to wrap it up. So you guys give me like a quick, brief little aspirations. Where do you guys want to be next year? Where do you guys want to be in the coming months? Like a quick little recap of just like where you want to be, if you get what I mean. I know it's a big question.
I think in the next 6 months, I think we'll have an EP out of all original music. I think hopefully we might have something live out that we'll do with our friend Ben Myers, who, by the way, if anybody out there needs a sound guy, he's available.
Holler at him.
And hopefully we'll just be playing a hell of a lot of shows. Hopefully we'll be breaking out of Athens a little bit, you know, breaking into Atlanta, maybe playing some ticketed events at Smith's or 40 Watt. Or, you never know. You know what I mean? I think hopefully next year, I think the big goal, at least for me personally, would be a theater show. Not headlining necessarily, but just
be nice.
You know what I mean? I think that would be our first goal was just get paid. You know what I mean? The next goal is, you know, whatever. We have to reevaluate down the line. But I think a reasonable, like, big goal for us for the next year is open up for somebody at the theater. You know
Springhouse or something, you know?
Shit, I mean,
I'm not asking for it, but, you know, we're your friends, guys, if you hear this.
Hook us up!
We did play that Springhouse after party.
Yeah, we did the after party for their Georgia Theater show.
Their most recent.
Paloma Park? Or?
No, we played at Roadhouse.
I remember hearing a little bit about that.
Max saw us one night and was like, dude, are you guys doing anything next week? And we're like, nah. And he was like, you guys should do an after party for us. And I was like, hell yeah. Chalked it up to just hammered talk. And next week I get a text from Mitch and he's like, so you guys going to do that? And I was like, fine, let me text Jasmine. Let me get let's get the crew together. Like
Max is one of the most spacey, cool guys I've ever met, dude. He's just like
total space cadet, but goddamn, I love that guy.
Yeah, me too. I tried to poach the shit out, and it was back in the day before he was in Springhouse. We just knew each other through class. I was like, hey, Max, come jam with us sometime, man. Come play with us. You want to be in the band? But we weren't in the same kind of music stuff. But, yeah, I love that guy. Anyways, dude, I think theater is definitely in the cards for you guys. 40 Watts happening. I'm excited, or hopefully. And you guys just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be fine. I'm excited. I heard a lot about you guys. I see you murdering it. I see you building a fan base. I like what you're doing. I'm excited for y'all.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, anytime, man. Let's go ahead and tell the people where to find your info at. Tell them your Instagram handle, all that's good stuff.
Follow us at _ATH.
Nice. There is not it's just regulars_ATH.
Nice correction there.
Yeah.
Gotta tighten up, man.
Follow us on there. That's the only social media we have right now, but it's got everything you need.
That's all you need, man.
Come out and see us at Roadhouse. Get you a free sticker.
What's the date on those Roadhouse shows?
December 2nd at Roadhouse. It's Thursday. And then December 7th at the 40 Watt. Opening up for Big Chungus, the Mighty Chungus, and Bird Dog Jubilee.
Maybe. We're hoping on that one.
Wink, wink.
That's awesome, you guys. We're all going to go
bully Bradley later to put the books.
We're beating Bradley up behind the 40 Watt at his own establishment.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for listening in. If you made it an hour and 7 minutes in, I'm very proud of that. These guys are super interesting. I'm stoked about this. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube at Jameson Tank. Subscribe on Instagram at Jameson_OTR. And follow these guys and just keep hammering at them. Give them a wave so I have a thumbnail, all right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Peace.
Thank you.